back to my channel. Today we're going to be making a strawberry shortcake hat. It is super cute, very fun. So let's just get right into it. So for your materials, we are going to be using a 4mm hook, a finishing needle or yarn needle, whatever you may have, a pair of scissors, red yarn, white yarn, pink yarn, and green yarn. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I've already made 4 of my squares and my strawberries, so I'm gonna make the next one, the last one here with you guys. So let's get started. We're gonna start off with our white, and we're going to make a magic circle. Again, I always do a double magic when I make magic circles. It just makes it feel more secure to me. So let's zoom you in a little. So we're going to go underneath those first 2 yarns, grab that last one, pull down and twist up. Then we're going to reach across and chain 1. That's our magic circle. And so that chain 1 is going to count, and we're going to chain up 2 more, and this will count as our first double crochet. We're going to yarn over, do another double crochet, and then we're going to do 1 more double crochet. So from here we're going to chain 2, which will be our corner spaces, and we're going to do 3 more double crochet here. So there's 1, 2, and there's 3. So we have 2 sides to our square. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do another side. So we're going to do 3 more double crochets, chain 2, and then we have 1 more side to make. So we're going to do 3 more double crochet, and we can't forget that last chain 2 because that is our last corner there. So we're going to close this double magic. We're going to pull the tail. This one's closing, so we're going to grab it, pull it tight, and now we're going to grab the tail, close that one. So now you can see we have 4 sides to our square, and we're going to take this here and slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Let me get under 2 loops there, slip stitch there, and now we have a square. So because with our next round we're going to continue with this white, I'm going to slip stitch across to the corner. So slip stitch under that next one, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the corner. So now I'm ready to work here. So I can chain up 3, which will count as a double crochet. Then we're going to do 2 double crochet. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do 3 more double crochet. So each corner space will get that same series of stitches. So we're not going to chain 1, we're just going to yarn over and go right into this next corner. We're going to do 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, there's 3. We have to chain 2 again because that keeps our corner space, and then we're going to add 3 more double crochet. So now that's our second side. Again, we're going to go right across into this next corner space here with that same series. So we have 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 more double crochet. All right, so we're going to go into this last one here. Yarn over, start our 3 double crochet, and chain 2, and do our last cluster. So now we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. And this is what you should have so far. So we have our 4 sides, we got our corner spaces, and now we have created side spaces. We got the 2 corners and a side. You should have that on each side there. All right, so now we are finished with the white. Gonna chain 2, cut that off because we're done with this color, and we're gonna pull that down so that way it doesn't distort our stitch, but it's still back here on the back side. So now we're finished with the white. Let's go on to the next color, which is pink. All right, so now we are ready to attach our pink, and I always attach in the corner spaces. So I am going to just pick a corner. I'll pick this one, and I like to start with a standing double crochet. I don't necessarily like to tie on and chain 3, so I start with a standing double. So what you do, you're gonna have your slip knot on your hook, and you're gonna yarn over. You're gonna grab your little tail and hold it behind, and we're going to start a double crochet in this stitch. So we're going to pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is a standing double crochet. Now we're going to complete the other half of this corner. So we're going to complete 2 more double crochets. This is just a half of our corner. So we're going to skip over to this side space here. Again, we're not chaining in between. We're going to yarn over and just place 3 double crochet in this side space. Now we're at a corner here. So we're going to yarn over, go into this corner, and do the 3 double crochet. Again, it's a corner space. It needs to chain 2. And then we have to complete our corner with 3 more double crochet. And I know you're questioning why we didn't do the whole series in this corner, but I'm going to finish it once I get back around. So now we're in this side space. Each side just gets a cluster. So we do 3 double crochet here. Corner space gets the cluster, chain 2, then a cluster. So that's our 3. Let me get some yarn here. Chain 2, then a cluster. I have a tangle here. All right, let's move over to this side. Side gets 1 cluster. Corner gets a cluster. Chain 2 and a cluster. Corner gets a cluster. Well, sorry, side gets a cluster. Now we're going to finish out that last part of this corner. So we're just going to place 3 double crochet. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to slip stitch into that standing double crochet there, which is our first double crochet. We're going to slip stitch into that, and that completes our corner. So now we have our 2 rows of white and our one row of pink. So now, because we ended here, I don't want to slip stitch and start over here. I always start in a corner, and we're going to continue with this pink color. So what I'm going to do is fasten off here. So I'm going to chain 2, cut my yarn, tighten this down, and then I'm going to reattach in another corner. It may have, you know, more tails to weave in, but I don't want to turn my square, so I'm just going to reattach there. So I'm just going to do slip knot, get it on my hook, start with a standing double crochet again, and I'm going to start in this corner. Yarn over, pull through two, pull through two. So now we are reattached, and I'm crocheting over this tail, and we're going to do it like we did the previous round, where we do half of the corner space. Now we have two sides. Same thing, side spaces get a cluster, so we're going to put a cluster in the side, move over to the next one, do a cluster there, and we're going to do a corner here. There's our cluster, chain two, cluster. Oops. All right, so we're going to continue to work that all the way around. Oh, I have another tangle here. We're going to continue to work this on around with side spaces getting one cluster, corners getting one cluster, chain two, then a cluster. So I will meet you back here when it's time to finish that last one, well, the first one that we started. Okay, so we are coming up on this last corner here, so we're going to complete our last side space. There's 1, 2, 3, and so now we're in that corner space. We're going to do our 3 double crochet. Oops. There's 2, there's 3, then we're going to chain 2 and slip stitch to the top of that standing double crochet. I'm going to chain 2 and fasten off, and we're going to tighten this down. All right, so this is what you should have so far. And now we're finished with our pink. We can put that away. And now it's time to add in our red. This is the last round of our square, so I'm going to join it the exact same way. So I'm going to start with a standing double crochet, and I'm just going to pick a corner. Doesn't matter which one. I'll pick here. And I'm going to join on with my standing double crochet. And I'm making half of my corner here, and we're going to complete it like we did the previous round. So we have 3 spaces here, but we're going to work a cluster in each of these spaces, and we're going to do cluster, chain 2, and a cluster in these corner spaces. So it's just like the previous round, we just have a extra space, extra size space to work into. So we can go ahead and get started with our 3 double crochet in this cluster. Oops. And we're going to do 3 double crochet here, then 3 more here, then now we're at a corner space, so we're going to do a cluster, which is our 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 more double crochet. So we're going to continue to work this on around, and I'll meet you guys here when we get to finishing off our last corner. Okay, so we're finishing this last side here. We're doing a cluster here, side space. Now we have to finish off this corner, so we're going to do just like the previous rounds. We're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, and we're going to slip stitch into this standing double crochet here, chain 2, fasten off, and then we tighten down. So this is what our square looks like, and you can block your squares if you need to. They will stretch out when you connect them, so I don't necessarily block them for this particular pattern, but this is what your square should look like so far. And we will go ahead and join them together. So let's go ahead and add in our other squares. Let me zoom you out. All right, and we are going to be joining with a zigzag slip stitch. This is how we're going to put the squares together, and I will show you how to do this. So let me grab my yarn and we'll get started. So this is what the squares look like when they are joined together. Let me zoom in on this stitch and let you see what we have here. See how it is zigzagged back and forth there. And this is what the back side looks like. So we're going to do that to join all of our squares. So we have the first 2 connected here, and we're going to join them in a straight line. So we're going to take 4 of them and join them just like this. And we take the top one and put that on after we've joined these 4. So let me show you how to join these 2 squares together. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what we're doing here. Okay, to start this zigzag slip stitch, we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook. And it doesn't matter if you start in the right or the left square, but I like to line them up like this and put them, you know, where the coordinating stitches are touching each other. So I start by going into the chain stitch here. So I'll go down through the chain stitch, go down through there, and I'm going to pull up a loop through there, and then I'm going to slip stitch into my slip knot, and I can tighten it down. But without chaining, I'm going to go into the chain stitch on this side, and I'm going to go down through that chain stitch. So we're working from the top down. So we're going to go down through it. Oops. We're going to pull up a loop, and we're going to slip stitch. So your yarn, your working yarn, should be between your squares or behind your squares. But now that we've done our left side, and we can take this tail and pull it down afterward, but now that we've done the left side, we're going to go back across to the right side. And if it helps to hold it down like this, that's fine too. All right, so now that we've done our left side, we're going to come back across and do our right side. We're going to go into that first stitch, and we're going to go under the stitch. So we're going to push down through the stitch, pull up our loop, pull through both, and then pull through your slip stitch. And we're going to go back through this next one. So we're going to work back across. I have to pull that tail down there. We're going to go back across, push underneath both loops, pull up a loop, and pull through the loop. And we're going to go back across to the other side. Go through, pull up our loop, pull through, go through the next, pull up, pull through. And so we're going to continue to work this all the way across. So that's our third stitch there. Pull our loop through, then go through the third on this side, pull our loop through. Gonna keep going. So I look at it in terms of like clusters. So this is the first stitch of this cluster. Pull up my loop, pull through, and I make sure I'm in the first loop on this cluster. Pull up, pull through. And you want to keep your tension about the same. Keep it consistent so that way your slip stitch is even going up your squares. And so that's the third one on that side. And we're going to the first one on this side. First one on this side. Second. And sometimes your yarn may split. So just got to be mindful of that. Then we have the third on this side. Make sure we get both loops. So as you can see, it's zigzagging up. And so we're going to continue this up, and I'll meet you at the top and show you how to finish it off. All right, so now we are at the top. We finished the clusters, and it's even down through. And you see the zigzag pattern there. Looks like it's supposed to on the back. And so we're going to end it the same way that we started it. So we're going to end it with pushing down through this chain stitch here. So we're going to go into this chain stitch. Make sure it's the right one here. This is it. Go into this chain stitch. Pull up our loop. Go into this chain stitch. Pull up our loop. And we're going to chain 2. And we're going to fasten off. And we're just going to tighten that down. So that is how you do the zigzag slip stitch. Now we're going to connect the next one. And then I'll be back to show you how we join the hat and attach the top at the same time. Okay, so now we have 4 sides of our square done. Of our hat done. So essentially it will join like this, right? It makes a box. So what we're going to do is seam up this side and attach our top at the same time. So as you go up this side and you get to the edge here where we fasten off, we're going to just grab this one and carry on over and keep going with our zigzag slip stitch so we can attach the entire thing. So when we get here, we're gonna go across these. So each one is like we're attaching a new square each side to each side. So essentially the whole hat will be attached like this once we finish. So let me grab my yarn and I will show you how we can go ahead and get these attached. All right, so we're going to finish this off. We're in those corners. Now we're going to grab our square, our next square, right? Let me pull you in. Grab our next square and we're going to attach in that corner. So you can turn it and push down through that stitch, that first chain stitch. And again, make sure we're in the same stitch. That's 1, 1, 1, and it's here. Here's our stitch. Gonna push down through, and we're gonna pull up a loop. pull up a loop. Let me try that again. There we go. And our chain stitches are a little tight, which is why we're having trouble getting through there. There we go. And we're going to slip stitch. So now I can slip stitch into this one. And now I'm working in my first stitch. So there's the first, and then the first on the side, second, second on this side. So now this is attaching our top. And so we're going to work it just like we did the other squares. So as you can see, it's still attaching in that zigzag pattern. And we're going to do that all the way around. So keep going, and I'll meet you when we get here to this corner to show you how we turn. Okay, so now we're coming up on the end. We are going to finish out this corner. This is our one. This is 2. And 3. All right, so we have our third ones attached. We're going to go into our first one here. There's the third one there. Okay, so we have to go on this side. We're going to go into our first one here. Going to pull a loop. Go into our first one here. And we're going to pull a loop. All right, so those are connected. Now we're turning this corner, right? And we're going to take this and sew that up a little bit later, so you can just pull it down to the side for now. And then we're going to take these corners and put them together. So we're going to go into this stitch. So that one's already attached. We're going to go into the first one on this side. And again, I make my chain stitches a little tight. So we're going to slip stitch here. And then we're going to do a slip stitch on this side. So every one of those corners is attached. So now we're just going to keep moving right on across. So that's our first one there. First one. And there's the second. Oops. And then there's the third. So we just continue to attach in that way all the way across. So we have a continuous granny stitch, a continuous slip stitch that's going to go all the way around the top of this hat. So once we get to the very end, I will meet you back and show you what we're looking like. Okay, so I wanted to show you this corner again. We're going to go into here, pull up our loop, and then we're going to go into this next corner here. Oh goodness. And so I'm going to include this into the next one now. So I'm going to pull my tension a little bit tighter as I go across here. And because I don't want it to have much looseness there because the other side was a little loose. So I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter as I go across here. Get it through there, then here. All right, and so now I'm just going to crochet over this tail and go across. You see that's a little bit tighter there now, and it's not as loose as the other one was. So now we got that attached into there, and we're still going across with our zigzag slip stitch. So just wanted to pop in and show you that, and let's keep going. We're almost there. We have 2 sides left and we'll be done. Let me show you a quick little tip. So if you go through the side, and notice we've been having a little trouble getting it through, but if you keep them separate, kind of hold them like this, keep your reds and your whites separate, it'll slide right through. So I'm gonna do that again. Go through on this side, and once we go through this side, we're gonna separate the white and the red, and it'll go through much easier. So that's just a little quick tip. All right, so I've made it all the way around now. I'm gonna go back and add this one in. I added the other ones in all the way around, and I think I like that a little bit better. So what I'm gonna do now that I'm all the way back around, I'm gonna clip this off, and I'm going to pull my yarn through, and I'm gonna take my finishing needle, and I'm going to attach it this way. And you can take it inside the hat and tie it off. This hat is just for demonstration purposes only. This hat will not be sold. So I'm just kind of weaving it back and forth here. And I'm gonna clip this end off. And our hat is attached. All right, so now the basis of the hat is complete. Of course, there will be strawberries on each panel, but again, this is just for demonstration purposes. I have a tutorial, an in-depth tutorial of creating the strawberries. I'll link it in the description box as well. Now you can weave in your ends, and the finish of the hat is completely up to you. Whether you turn this into a bucket hat or you turn it into a ruffle hat, it's completely up to you. With turning it into a ruffle hat, I did add a layer of a round of single crochets with elastic there before I did my ruffles, and I do have a in-depth ruffle hat tutorial that I will link in the description box as well, because I want to keep this video fairly short for you guys. But again, I'm gonna post show the final product of what this hat looks like. All right, so here is the final look of the hat after the ruffles have been added. This is a custom order, which she did decide to have ruffles to hers. And each panel does have the strawberries there, and I have a in-depth tutorial of creating those strawberries. I will link it in the description box. But if you decide that you don't want ruffles on your hat, you can definitely turn it into a bucket hat. The hat is completely customizable, and it's completely up to you. But I just ask that you tag me in your creations. I would love to see what you did. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.